We have to tap into the extra, but we have to also understand the ordinary. So I'm going to tell you about a man called Moses. Now, you know Moses because you know Charleston Heston, 10 Commandments. You know Moses because you saw the Prince of Egypt. So you know Moses through a lot of different stories that was told, but I want you to know that Moses was one of the greatest leaders that ever walked on this planet. But what I want to show you that Moses fought an identity crisis. If Moses fought an identity crisis, he was one of the greatest leaders ever. You don't think we're going to fight and go through some of the same identity issues that this great man went through? Your identity is found in who? In Christ. We go through stuff. We work for different people. We do all these things, and all these things try to define our identity. So what is the first thing when you walk into a building, Maceo? What's the first thing someone asks you? They ask you, what do you do? Because they say that you are what you do. When is the last time you walked in a building and someone said, who are you? So the very thing that we say we're not dealing with is the very thing we deal with, because how many times have we asked somebody, what do you do for a living? Because part of our culture defines us by what we do, what we have, where we live, and what happened to you. So what's happening to you is that's what they define you as. If you're going through a sickness, then you're sick. No, the sickness don't define me. That's just what I'm going through. So our identity is not sick. Our identity is not broke. Our identity is not blank. But see, when your identity is found in what you do, as well as found in what happened to you, then you're leaving out the most important thing to identity. Tell your neighbor, you are who you are in Christ. So when you answer that question, there's some lenses that you see through. So if I had glasses today, I would see through the lens. The first lens you see through is that who I am is based on my past hurts. I am my past hurts. There's another lens that we look through. We look through the lens of I'm my past mistakes. Who are you? My past mistakes. And then people try to remind you that's who you are. You know you made that mistake. You make mistakes, but you're not a mistake. So here's our answer. We must look to our biblical lens, not through anything else. Otherwise, now who create the identity crisis? You. So if we don't look through the Bible and say, who am I? Why am I? What am I? And we look through the biblical lens, then all those other lenses I've given you, you're going to look through one of those. And you're going to end up creating your own crisis because you're not looking in Christ to find out who in the world you really are. Now, I got a few minutes to look at this word crisis. I'm going to spell the word crisis out, and I'm going to give you some thoughts about crisis. Because we have to beat this thing called identity crisis. And then when you beat it, you can take it to your children, because they have to beat it. You got to take it to your grandchildren, because society is going to force them into identity crisis, because that's the only way you control them. You want to control their future, make sure they don't know who they are. In the word see, Christ, the word see is, tell your neighbor, do not conform. If you settle for an identity that makes others feel good about you or fit into our world system, it will keep you away from the experience of an extraordinary life designed for you. You cannot be squeezed into the mold of feeling good about being with people because they look different than you. I don't care if it's the mayor, the governor. I don't care if it's LeBron James walk up in here. I don't care if it's Denzel Washington walk up in here. They're just doing what they were designed to do. They're not better than you. They're just getting extraordinary because they're doing Denzel Washington. He's just doing Deion Sanders. He's just doing what he's designed to be. He's just doing Barack Obama. She's just doing Michelle Obama. They're just doing what they're designed to be so they get extraordinary, and we don't have to applaud them for the stardom. We applaud them for being themselves. That's all. They're just themselves. And so somebody asked me, if LeBron came in here, what would you do? I would tell the usher, put him back in the seat somewhere. Would you bring him up front? No, I wouldn't. Never. Ever. Because who he is a good version of himself. And it don't make him better than us. And if we can teach our kids that, they don't have to now try to be LeBron. They can be themselves and be better than him. Because they're being the best version of themselves. Read this with me. Here we are. Let's read together. Amplified verse. Ready? And do not be conformed to any longer with its superficial values and customs, but be transformed, progressively changed as you mature spiritually by the renewing of your mind, focusing on godly values and ethical attitudes, so that you may prove for what the will of God is, that which is good, acceptable, and perfect in his plan and purpose for you. For you. That when you're conforming, you're never asking God for the plan for you. This plan is for you. Today is about you. And I don't care if nobody want to hear about you, but this is about you. The school system needs you. The economic system, financial system needs you. The political system needs you. The entertainment system needs you. Our housing scenario and situation with Intel coming here needs some extraordinary thinkers. Our educational system gonna need some extraordinary thinkers when you get all the kind of people we're gonna get into this city. They're not gonna look like us. They're not gonna talk like us. They're not gonna be rich kids. They're not gonna be immigrants. But what's gonna happen when you pull us all together if we don't have a you? We need you.
They may say we are crazy. They may say we are radical. They may even say we are unrealistic. However, to experience God's exponential growth in our lives, becoming innovators, becoming investors, and becoming influencers in this dark world, then crazy describes us well. Be extraordinary.